السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. What were the articles of peace accord, of the peace accord between Al-Imam Al-Hassan Al-Mujtaba, peace be upon him and his father and his family, on the one hand, and Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan and the party of the Levant on the other hand? I mentioned earlier that Imam al-Hassan was left with no choices but to accept the so-called peace offer by Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan. In fact, it wasn't a peace accord or a peace deal. It was a ceasefire. Because Imam al-Hassan, as we're going to see from these articles of this peace deal, he did not even recognize Muawiyah as being a caliph. He did not give him any privileges. He did not renounce his own, Imam Hassan's own imamah and caliphate. And he gave no concessions whatsoever to Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan. All what he wanted to do is a ceasefire, because his army was unable, the army of Imam Hasan alayhi salam was unable to meet, unable, reluctant, too weak to meet the army of Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan. I mentioned earlier, my friends, this thing happened with many prophets. It happened with Prophet Moses when the Israelites said to him, اذهب أنت وربك فقاتلا إنا هاهنا قاعدون. We are not going to come and with you to fight our enemies. Go with your Lord, both of you. Take care of this. We are sitting here and relaxing. They refused to go with Moses when he invited them to go to war against the tyrants in Palestine. It happened to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam during the Battle of Badr. When the Prophet left Medina to Mecca to confront the caravan of Abu Sufyan and Quraysh, one of the people who discouraged the Prophet from fighting was Abu Bakr and Umar ibn al-Khattab. Umar said to the Prophet, Ya Rasulullah, innaha Quraysh, ma azzat mundu dhallat. You know who we are fighting against? This is Quraysh, the powerful Quraysh that has never been defeated, as they say about certain countries today in the Middle East. This is the supreme military power. It has not been defeated. This is just part of the psychological warfare. The enemies of God are the most coward people. Most coward. You know why? Because they want their life above their country and their land and their religion. Their life is more important. Whereas Islam says your country, your cause, your religion, mankind, the cause of justice and fairness is more important than an individual life. إن الله اشترى من المؤمنين أنفسهم وأموالهم بأن لهم الجنة. If it takes giving your life for a worthy cause, then let it be. Let it be. God says, you are giving it to me. It's not going to go wasted. Maybe if the cause is not worthy, is unjust, then you might not do that. This is not martyrdom. This is a suicide. But if the cause is worthy, you are strengthening your community, your cause, defending it against aggression and abuse, then it's a worthy cause. So here, Imam Al-Hassan alayhi salam, all what he wanted to do is that to say, I cannot fight, I cannot confront this army. Had I been having loyal friends, even though they are small, even though they are a minority, who are willing to go with me wholeheartedly into this war, I will do so. In fact, he was telling and encouraging his community to do so. But as you heard, they said, all of them, they said, بَلِ الْبَقِيَّةُ وَالْحَيَاةُ. We want to stay and survive, and we want to live. We are not going to come with you to fight. We want to live. And they have a choice, my friends. You can't force people. أَفَأَنْتَ تُكْرِهُ النَّاسَ حَتَّى يَكُونُوا مُؤْمِنِينَ. God says to the Prophet, are you the one who's going to force and coerce people to accept faith, to accept righteousness, to accept democracy and freedom? You can't do that. Leave them alone. It's up to them. It's their own choice. So what were the 4 articles of peace? Number 1, and it's mentioned in the books of history. One of them is Sulh Al-Hassan alayhi salam, Al-Imam Sheikh Radi Al-Yassin. I mentioned this in the previous session. The other one is Hayatul Imam Al-Hassan ibn Ali Al-Allama Baqir Sharif Al-Qarashi, and Kashif Al-Ghita, and many other, and Bihar Al-Anwar, and Ilal Al-Shara'i' Al-Saduq alayhi salam, Al-Irshad, Sheikh Al-Mufid, many other books. Also in other schools of thought, this was mentioned, the details. One of them is that the power would be handed over to Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan. Allah provided that, it's conditional. يَعْمَلَ بِكِتَابِ اللَّهِ. He should implement the teachings of the Book of God, which he did not do, he did not honor. وَبِسُنَّةِ رَسُولِهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ وَسَلَّمْ وَبِسِيرَةِ الْخُلَفَاءِ الصَّالِحِينَ. And he has to implement the sunnah, the tradition of the Prophet, and the tradition of the righteous caliphs, successors to the Prophet. This is one condition that he did never honor. The second, أن يكون الأمر للحسن من بعده. After the death of Muawiyah, Imam Hasan alayhi salam is going to succeed him. فإن حدث به حدث فلأخيه الحسين وليس لمعاوية أن يعهد إلى أحد غيرهما. Imam Hasan is going to succeed Muawiyah. If something happens, should something happens to Imam Hasan, then Imam Hussein is going to be the caliph, and Muawiyah has no right to appoint a successor after him. But Muawiyah did exactly the opposite, 180 degrees. He appointed his son, Yazid ibn Muawiyah, and then after his son, many others succeeded him. He established the monarchy, the Umayyad Empire, the Umayyad monarchy. Number 3, Muawiyah has to abandon maligning, slandering, cursing Imam Ali alayhi salam. And وَلَا يَذْكُرُهُ إِلَّا بِخَيْرٍ. Whether it is during the prayers, the qunut of the prayers, because they used to curse Imam Ali during the qunut. Whether it's during Friday sermon, other events, he should not mention Imam Ali but with goodness and reverence, which he did not do. He said, لا أترك سبه حتى يشيب عليه الصغير ويموت عليه الكبير. I would never stop cursing Ali until the young ones get old, until the old die. This is my tradition. This is my strategy, is to keep cursing Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. Not only that, he went after the followers of Imam Ali. Beginning with Imam Hasan himself, he poisoned Imam Hasan. After trying to assassinate him on many occasions, eventually he succeeded in poisoning him and killing him. He poisoned other companions of the Prophet who were his opponents. They disagreed with him, or he felt insecure by them. He went after the companions of the Prophet, one after one, the reciters, the Qurra of the Holy Quran, one after the other. He murdered a huge number of them. He created a brigade, a hit, an assassination brigade. And he chased all the followers of Imam Ali and Imam Hasan, one after the other. Whether they are in Iraq, whether they are in Egypt, whether they are in Yemen, whether they are in Hijaz, Mecca and Medina, or Syria, or other areas. And he assassinated them. And number 4, people have to be safe. الناس آمنون حيث كانوا من أرض الله في شامهم وعراقهم وحجازهم ويمنهم. The Ummah, the community, has to feel safe and secure, whether they live in Iraq, in Yemen, in Hijaz. Hijaz means Mecca and Medina and the rest of the Arabian Peninsula, or Syria. They should not be intimidated or threatened or persecuted or prosecuted by Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan and his regime. Leave people alone. Give them freedom. Respect the human rights. وأن يؤمن الأسود والأحمر. Whether a person is Arab, non-Arab, black, white, red, it doesn't matter. Anyone who lives in that Islamic society, in these countries, has to feel dignified and respected. His rights should not be violated by the regime of Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan. وأن يحتمل معاوية ما يكون من هفواتهم وأن لا يتبع أحدا بما مضى ولا يأخذ أهل العراق بإحنة. He should not chase them and persecute them for what they did in the past. He should not hold grudge and hate against any group. He should give general amnesty to all his opponents. Those who disagree with him should not be harassed. Specifically, he should give amnesty لأصحاب علي عليه السلام, to the camp of Ahlulbayt. وأن لا ينال أحدا من شيعة علي بمكروه وإن أصحاب علي وشيعته آمنون على أنفسهم وأموالهم ونسائهم وأولادهم. He should not harass or persecute or go after or hurt any of the companions and the followers of Ahlul Bayt and Imam Ali alayhi salam. Their wealth, their homes, their kids, their children, their families should feel safe. He should not pursue them and run after them and go after them. And he should give to people their rights. He should not deprive any group from their rights just because they disagree with Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan. People should enjoy their rights, their dignity, freedom of religion, freedom of work, freedom of living, freedom of expression. These are good articles, my friends. These are articles that even today the United Nations and many modern countries believe in, adhere to. When they strike a peace deal, this is what they say. This is common sense, acceptable. So Imam Hasan did not do anything wrong. He did his best to secure a safe and dignified future for himself and his community and the rest of the ummah, not just himself. Even people of Syria who were not in favor of him, he said they should enjoy freedom. وعلى أن لا يبغي للحسن بن علي ولا لأخيه الحسين. This is very important. That is the last bit of the fourth article. Muawiyah and his regime should not plot or plan any scheme against Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. He should not hurt them. He should not harass them. He should not malign them. He should not blacklist them. He should not consider them to be second-degree citizens. ولا يخيف أحدا منهم في أفق من الآفاق. He should not instill fear or insecurity against any one of them anywhere on earth. But none of these, my friends, none of these articles were adhered to. None of them. One after the other, these articles were violated. In fact, Muawiyah, as soon as he made this peace offer and he signed it, then he came to Kufa to greet the people of Kufa, because now he's the new commander. He went to the pulpit in Kufa. He said, "Oh people, you know, I did not want you or fight against you, so you pray, you fast, you perform your Hajj, you become better community, better individuals, better religious people, ethical people. I don't care about these things. وَإِنَّمَا قَاتَلْتُكُمْ لِأَتَأَمَّرَ عَلَيْكُمْ. My aim and my goal and my ambition out of all these fightings and conflicts and bloodshed from the time of Imam Ali until right now with his son Imam Hassan, my goal was one: to control you, about controlling you. لِأَتَأَمَّرَ عَلَيْكُمْ. And then I have given Hassan so much covenants, عهودا ومواثيق, so many promises. كلها تحت قدمي هاتين. Every bit and piece of these covenants that I made with him and the promises I gave to him are under my feet. I don't care about them. I don't even recognize them. I destroy them. I'm not going to honor them because I have achieved my goal. Do you listen, my friend? Do you see what type of person he is? Do you see why Muslims are weak today? Because they had such leaders ruling over them. Leaders who believed in nothing but bullying and dominance. Such cowboys who only believed in suppressing their opponents, controlling them. They had thirst and hunger for power, for authority, for the seat. It wasn't about Islam. Muslims have to wake up and revisit their history. Revisit the history of Islam. Every day we are asked to make an allegiance to God, allegiance to the messenger of God, the apostle of God, allegiance to the righteous people, وَأُولِي الْأَمْرِ مِنْكُمْ Ahlulbayt. Those are the family of the Prophet. We have to renew this allegiance every single day. Do not give allegiance to the wrong people, to the unjust, to the corrupt. Stay with the people of the truth. وَكُونُوا مَعَ الصَّادِقِينَ. Teach your children that we are in this life for a number of days, and we have to understand and recognize and distinguish our leaders. Who is your leader? And the leader does not mean today, just today. Even 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago, when you read the history of Islam, Even before Islam, when with the Christianity, who was with Jesus on his side and who was against him? With Moses, who was with him and who was against him? Even before that, when it comes to Adam and his two children, Cain and Abel, Qabil and Habil, which one do you stand with? Do you stand with the victim, Habil, or do you stand with a bully, with a murderer, with a criminal, Qabil? We have not seen them. We have not seen any images of them, no pictures of them, no Facebook of them. But we have to, inside us, you have to sympathize with the victim. And you have to renounce any relationship with the criminal, even though you did not see him, even though he did nothing to you. With Hitler, do you love Hitler or you hate him? Hitler did not do anything personal to me, but Hitler was against mankind. He was against justice. He was against human rights. Same thing with Saddam Hussein. Though Saddam Hussein did a damage to me personally, he took away 15 members of my family. But it's not about a personal conflict. It's about truth and falsehood, justice and wrongdoing. Which side do you choose? Which side do you choose? This is religion. This is التولي لأولياء الله والتبري من أعداء الله. One of the most fundamental principles of our faith. To stand and support and be loyal to the people of God, to the people of justice and truth and peace, to the people of humanity and love and care, and to be against, even in your heart. This is the least thing in your heart, to be against and renounce people of corruption, the thugs, the bullies, the dictators, the unjusts, the corrupt. Stay away from them. This is the most important principle of Islam. In this life, there are two camps. Which one do you stand with? Spiritually, mentally, not just physically. Which one do you stand with? You have the choice. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.